Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode number 326. We are here reviewing episode number 1085. The Last Curtain, Luffy and Momonosuke's Vow. And of course, we also have the reviewing this chapter, the manga, chapter 1099. Now, this episode adapts from the final chapter of the Wano arc, chapter 1097, which means, yes, this is the end of the Wano saga and the story arc itself. Yeah, I'll talk about some of my final thoughts on the arc itself, right after talk about the episode itself. The episode is mostly this. Lots of mostly you have Momonosuke, Yamato, and Kinemon racing to the shoreline. We have flashbacks of kind of when Momonosuke first met Luffy during Punk Hazard, which is from the manga. And the various trials, basically, Momonosuke had to go through, like, some flashbacks from this very arc itself, like when Momonosuke first saw Kaido, both in the past and then in the present day. Oh, it's also in this episode that Yamato decided to stay in Wano. The reason, because she wants to travel the country, like Oden did, then of course, travel across the world. She wants to see Wano first because she's been stuck on an island her whole life. And she wants to see the island first, and then go around the world. And then go be with Luffy. Maybe I should take Tama with her. That might be interesting. So, and of course, Luffy already knew about this. Despite she did want to join the crew, but this is what we have here. So, Momonosuke does see him, and of course, we have him and Yamato tackling him. And of course, basically, he's sad that Luffy and the crew are leaving. And they arrive just after Trafalgar, but basically Law and Kid both left. And of course he's crying a lot, and like he wants to stay forever, but of course Luffy can't because he has to travel because he's a pirate. So Luffy gives him a parting gift: a flag of the Straw Hats, which you can hang basically in the flower capital. This is kind of, in a way, even though they won't say it here, neither in the manga, this is basically Luffy saying, basically as Luffy's an emperor now, Wano is his turf. Yep, which makes it the second territory of his he's actually had in the series. First being Fishman Island, now it's the country of Wano. So, even though yes, he's loosely allied with Alabasta and Dressrosa, but they're not like official territories of his yet. But they're allied with him because they're friends with him. And of course, basically then we see Yamato in the group. Momonosuke, Yamato, and Kimi go back to the capital. And before we close and then before we get to that last bit of the end of the episode, we see that Jagi is basically egging on Law and Luffy to go over the waterfall because we go with Fishboy lower on that way. No, it'll just basically be a complete being baited by Kid to go over the waterfall. They do, and that's how their part ends the episode. The arc officially ends the same way the manga does, with having all the retainers, including Yamato there, who's going to stay, but she's not a retainer. And then we have the curtain close on the one arc with the phrase, "the end." And then we have to be continued. This episode was a really good episode, and I definitely do think that extending this arc by one episode was a definitely good idea. Yep. Excuse me. Final thoughts on the Wano anime arc. This arc was really, really good. Like, wow. Okay, so this arc went in the anime for 4.5 years. Like, this is even longer than Dressrosa. That went on for over 2 years. Yes. For the longest time, Dressrosa was the longest arc in the history of the One Piece anime. Being at a whopping 118 chapters. Well, episodes anyways. The episodes themselves, this was 191. By the way, the arc itself was 149 chapters. If you're curious, how long was Dressrosa, you might be asking? the Dressrosa arc itself was 118 episodes, but over the course of 4 years. And because the one arc was so long, we had, believe it or not, 2 filler arcs during the course of this very arc. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. 3 times over the course of the arc, we had to take an episode or 2 off because of stuff. The first time was for the Cider Guild arc, which was a quick 2-parter, would just put a prelude to One Piece Stampede, which I did go see in theaters when it came out, and that was back in 2019, that was. And then we have basically, like, what was the very next one? And that was episodes 895 to 896. Now, 897 is, well, how should I put this? 897, excuse me, 897 is not a filler arc per se. It's adapted from an actual chapter. Well, how should I put this? It is, well, it's adapted from a one-shot. Yes. The very one-shot that sparked this series. That being the version 2 of the Romance Dawn one-shot. Yep. Yeah, this was a full adaptation. And Luffy himself, him and basically the guy who became his grandfather, was mostly put basically people retained from the story. The thief of the story, who is Anne, by all appearances, was basically reused for Nami. And yeah, she's voiced by Lucy Christian, just like for Nami. Like she's like, you look at her, she looks exactly like Nami, except she's got blue hair. Yeah. Yep. And then we have, like, not long after... Oh, I forgot to mention this when it comes to the actual episode itself. When they had Luffy's group leave Wano, they instrumental of We Are. One of the most popular songs, the opening theme songs of the whole series. This is only, like, the second time this has happened ever in the history of the series, where when Luffy and the group leaves a country, that they play that song. The last time they did this was at the end of Alabasta. Yep, that was the last official time this happened. The only other original arc we actually have is Uta's Past. That was just, like, last year. Yep. Yeah, it is, it was the most recent filler arc we actually had. And all I did was basically just came out during this arc. It was the last official filler arc that we had. And of course, Uta herself was voiced by Amanda Lee, who does an absolute great job voicing her in the One Piece Red movie. Now, here's a fun fact about those 2 movies, because they came out during the course of this arc. When I saw One Piece Stampede, the day I go, I went, according to what I saw online, this was supposed to be when the dub. Instead, it was the sub. I was very disappointed with that. And in the case of One Piece Red, I made sure it was a dub this time. And since I'm reviewing anime, I have seen a handful of movies in theaters related to these various anime. Like, I've seen the 2 Dragon Ball Super movies, Broly, which I know about the controversy surrounding basically the Broly's voice actor that came afterwards, and Superhero, 2 movies for Dragon Ball, all 3 movies for My Hero Academia, 2 movies for One Piece. That time I Occurrence of Slime. Yeah, I saw that one in theaters. Was there like any other one? I've only seen, I think, off the top of my head, I think I've only seen 9 in theaters that I can think of. Yeah, I didn't, actually no, 10, because I also have seen Demon Slayer Mugen Train. I saw that in theaters too. So in the past 6 years, I have basically watched, because it's, well, 6 years this coming January, that I have been reviewing anime since I started it. And I've seen a total of 10 anime movies in theaters. The last one, off the top of my head, was That Time I Occurrence of Slime. That was the most recent one I saw. That was back in January. And Well, of course, also I've seen another movie that released from Japan, Shin Kamen Rider. Yes, but that's something else altogether. But I have thoroughly enjoyed watching the one arc from start to finish. I watched it basically subbed from start to finish. It's only the second official arc this has happened with, where I watch it the moment it airs, and then the moment it ends. The last arc that did this with was Reverie, the previous arc of the series. You're probably thinking, Nick, what about Whole Cake? Didn't you start doing that when the thing aired? No, I did not. I actually got that arc itself. It was about 20 episodes when I finally caught up with the anime. Though at the time I was watching a sub because I ran dub episodes. And yes, I do know about the recent dub episodes that have been released. Now, if you're really curious, like, you see, the last known dub episode I watched was episode 1000. That was the last one I officially watched. Yep. And if you're really curious, like, what is the most recent arc that has been released? What's the most recent episode got released subbed? I think it was like 1045, I think it was. Let's see. I'm looking right now. Let's see. The most recent one released dubbed. They have dubbed, as of right now, to episode 1024. So I got about 24 episodes. I have heard about the next couple that are going to be released. I think that the next one I heard was going to be like 1048, I think it was. Yes, I think that's about correct. Yes. Though I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to dub the specials that came out during this arc. I highly doubt it because here's the thing: why would you even want to adapt it? Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I don't think they would, especially since this arc had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had a total of 9 clip shows. Because, well, we gotta drag out this arc as best as possible, so do clip shows. Now, I do not think these will be dubbed. I highly doubt it. The reason? Because why would you dub something mostly as clip show? It's mostly a stock footage episode because it was a money saver and because they want to keep extending this arc as much as they can. So you can partially blame the reason why this arc took 4.5 years to air because these 4 specials. And also, well, the filler episodes were fine. I don't think basically the 2 filler arcs we actually got, this particular thing, hurt the actual arc itself. Not really. They were there to promote the movies that came up for them. Like I mentioned, Carbacola, One Piece Stampede, Uta, One Piece Red. They were service fee for movies. They're basic promotional tools. They've done this before for various other movies. So, for me personally, it didn't bother me at all. The one thing that kind of did bother me was basically the clip shows. I watched the first clip show, just why not, and it is mostly just 2 characters from the arc just talking about what happened over the course of this thing. Mostly they're basically Barto's secret room. It's basically Barto, a guy who's not even in this arc, working with, of all people, Tama, which is they did the first one. Now, the second one they did. Now I should point out though, the first of these specials was released on December 26, 2021, roughly almost 2 years ago. The second one was released May 1st last year, and that involved Bartholomew recapping an arc with, of course, John Walker Law. And of course, you have Comprehensive Anatomy, The Legend of Odin, which is basically Yamato and Momonosuke recapping the flashback stuff for, well, it's mostly put just a recap of basically the entire flashback arc for that we show for the anime itself. Why would I watch something basically? The third one, which is basically the Operative Autonomy, Fierce Fight from the 5 Generation, which is a recap done hosted by Captain Kidd and Killer. And it's mostly recapping the fight between Kaido and Big Mom. Well, basically, everybody versus them. And then we have Great Force Battle Special Straw Hats versus Top Ropo, which is basically hosted by Zoro and Sanji. Now, you might be curious though, did Zoro fight one of the top property? No, he did not. Not even Sanji ever did. Actually, no, wait, these two never fought them. Mostly everybody else fight with them. And then we have Great Force Battle Special, Zoro versus an All-Star, which is basically another special hosted by Sanji with Chopper as his co-host. It's just mostly recapping the battle between Zoro and King. And then we have the Great Force Battle Special, Alliance Counterattack versus Big Mom, which is a recap hosted by Nami, Nika, Robin. Basically, recap between the 2-on-1 handicap match between Big Mom versus Kid-in-Law, and then we have Luffy Senpai's support project, Barter Secret Room 3, where Wathami is once again teaming up with Tama. Recapping the whole thing with Gear 5. This one was the second time Tama has basically appeared in one of these. And the last Eclipse show did feature the same one, basically, it just recapping the rest. And here's the thing. The last one aired just a month ago. October 8th of just this year. The Bartos 3, that was aired back in August of this very year. The Counterattack, back in June. It seems, you probably think, okay, Nick, are you saying these specials aired once every 2 months? Yes, they did. I did hear initially something that the Egghead arc was supposed to, according to the article I read, it was going to start next month. So, maybe we're going to do a start of it, and then we're going to do the filler stuff. They do the anime covers. I hope so. Alright. Wano, great. I'm still reviewing Wano when it comes to... I'm still reviewing this arc when it comes to the review stuff. When would the review come back, per se? Because they've released about 24 episodes. Not yet, per se. That probably won't come at this point until I go on my break in Tokusatsu. Might be a bit more by then. Who knows? Alright, so... maybe I might do one of my next breaks. Maybe. Alright, so... We're talking about chapter 1099, which means, yes, next chapter is chapter 1100. Called Pacfist. Kinemon, basically... Oh, it's basically not Kinemon. It's raccoon dogs fixing Odin's hair while he's eating. So then we see, well, Kuma overthrowing the idiot king, and him being proclaimed new king of the country after he did all by himself. He basically is like, because the king himself is a complete idiot. He's a terrible king, and then of course Jupiter basically notices this. Here's another king and servant. Strange. Who is it? Yeah, Kuma's become king. Yep, so... And then we see... Well, they think it's Jenny, but... Yeah, apparently this is Bonnie. Yeah, it's revealed that revealed her death where she can age herself up or she can de-age. Mm-hmm. And of course, talking to the guy like Bulldog, who supposedly is like an aide to Kuma. And of course, there's an article released by a paper calling him a wicked dictator. Really? A dictator basically is a terrible person who basically harms his own people. Does Kuma do that? No. He just took out the king. It's like the world government basically in the series wants to go back to what status quo. Not they don't want to change anything at all. They want basically what they did before. because the one coming in the series are complete idiots, and they basically are just begging for money. That, like, at times they'll just drain a country dry, and then they're just no longer proclaiming a country because they have no money to pay the heavily tribute. Yeah, then the Navy shows up. It's like, kill him now. I am the true king. You are foolish with your face around again. And the ship sinks. And then Kuma gets himself a wanted poster. And of course, Bonnet's like, I wish Daddy was here. I want to see him again. So I remember Kuma is the hero who saved the land. I don't care. He's my daddy. Once I'm 10, and I'll better, I'll be a pirate too. Don't do it, dear. I can grow up too. I can turn into a grown up. Have you seen these before? It can't be sunlight. Poor thing. And of course, you see him going to possibly Thriller Bark. No, actually, wait. That country he goes to, the castle. I think that's Hawkeye Mihawk's castle. I spy about a hot bounty. And of course, basically goes to like a. Then he goes to the Drum Kingdom. Yes, because it's snow. And of course, basically by his 10th birthday, he meets up with Dragon, his friend. Yep, it goes out to sea, and of course, you have Bonnie, who beats up. Cure Bonnie to fight again. Bonnie is amazing. Of course, she beats up somebody. Like, Daddy, where are we? We're gonna see Doctor check up before your disease is healed. Yep, and so Kuma meets Vegapunk. Yep, Vegapunk. And she's like, wow, look at his head. Gross. Yeah, because he used to have a big top thing. It's been surprised that he cut that off. Yes, he cut off part of his own head. He has an apple on top of an apple. Top of an apple. So, and you see the Axeman. Sapphire escapes. Then when limits so long, she'll survive. She will. I guess the medical tech I've been holding back from the public market. And then, of course, basically, like, yes, he's a buccaneer, yes. And he basically wants to study his muscles for science, because he's so big, and make clones. And, of course, he does. Like, what do they call these things? Saint? No, Saint. It's really a pacifist. Yeah, this kind of, in a way, led to the creation of the Pacifistas. That's most of what this flashback is. And that kind of ends the chapter itself. This chapter is really good. I loved it. Does it end the flashback per se? Don't know. I'm completely unknown. I'm hoping it does because I kind of look at present day, but if you're really curious, like, how long has this arc officially gone into right now? As of right now, the Egghead arc has been gone now for at least well, as of this chapter, like 42 chapters. Yep, 42. Yep. Yep, 42, which is going to be quite something. Yep. I definitely can't wait for chapter 1100 to come out. And I think it comes out. Yeah, it comes out next week, so I don't have to wait too long. And I was checking to see My Hero Academia come out, but no, it's still on break. It's break now for a few weeks now. So there is a possibility that maybe coming next week. I'm not sure why the chapter's being delayed for. Like, if you're really curious, did I review a chapter last week? Yes, I did. It just seems quite strange. So it's like now it's like once every couple weeks now. Yeah, I think it's a little weird. Yep. So yeah, that's a particular view. Next up is gonna be Comic Corner, and then it's on to Devil is a Part-Timer. And by the way, there's no Spy X Family today because I did check. There's no new episode for that one. So yeah. So Spy X Family, Case Closed, Girlfriend, and Goblin Slayer all took a week off. These 4 anime. So One Piece done, so I'm up to date. I don't know if 100 Girlfriend's going to release. I have no idea. I'll check it later. If it did, I might review it today after I do the Devil's Part-Timer. This is supposed to be after my Comic Corner. But when I did Devil's Part-Timer, I do 2 Comic Corners. So I have 2 more to go. But right now, I'll be right back and do a review. Okay, next video.